Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Luis and I'm a medical student here in the Philippines, and today I'll be talking about 5 tips to boost your productivity. So for the past 2 months, I've been stuck here at home, and despite the cancellation of physical classes, my school has still given me requirements to submit as part of the requirements needed to promote me to the next year level. Because of that, I need to find ways to remain productive despite the quarantine, so I could accomplish my requirements and not have to cram them later down the line. So today I'll be talking about the techniques that I found most helpful, and hopefully you'll find helpful in applying in your own daily life. I've left in the description the timestamps for each point in the topic, so feel free to go to the description and to jump to the points you find most interesting. But anyway, let's start the video. So my first tip for you guys is to organize and prioritize. Meaning, I recommend you create a schedule for the number of hours you have in the day. So given we have 24 hours in the day, I recommend that you divide those hours to allocate for specific activities you do throughout the day, including your sleep, your meals, your study time, your leisure time, and any other thing you'd expect to do throughout those 24 hours in the day. By doing this, you allow yourself to be more aware of the time you have in the day and allow you to prioritize what's important and what's not. So for me, I prioritize my sleep. So I'd make sure that I block off at least 8 hours of sleep to my day so that I'd go to sleep and wake up at a specific time. After sleep, I would block out specific hours a day dedicated to studying, where I'd focus on accomplishing my school requirements, and that's the way I was able to keep myself on top of my requirements during the past 2 months of quarantine. After allocating my sleep and study times, I would allocate my meal and leisure time so that I would be able to still do them but not end up doing so much that I end up eating into the activities that I would prioritize, namely my sleep and my studying. What this scheduling allowed me to do is that I was able to have the best of both worlds. I was able to work, but still I was able to have time to do the things that I really enjoyed, such as playing video games, working out, and watching YouTube videos.
So here's an example of the calendar I made for my daily routine here in quarantine. So as you can see, I planned out the time I'd sleep and roughly the time I'd wake up. And then I'd have breakfast at around this time, and then right after I'd get to studying. And then at around this time I'd do chores, and then I'd have lunch, study again, workout, chores, and more study, and then have dinner and prep and do other remaining tasks I had for the day, such as washing the dishes. So this is just an example of how I created a schedule so that I would know what to do at specific points in the day. You need not follow this, but this is something that I did so that I'd have some semblance of structure while staying at home.
So my second tip for you guys is to make a to-do list. So making a schedule creates a general framework for you to follow on a regular basis. But a to-do list gives you a specific breakdown of what you need to accomplish for a day. So what I do every night is that I would list down the things that I would do for the next day. So if I was going to study, I'd list down what specific subjects that I'd study, what reviews I'd do for that day, I had a meeting, if I was going to, what workout I was going to do, all the specific things, because these are the things that I wouldn't otherwise know based on my general schedule.
So here I have Notion open, and Notion is my app of choice for making my to-do list. And I'll make a completely separate video on this because I find that Notion is a very useful application for trying to be productive. So here, I'll open up a new page. And the nice thing about Notion, it allows me to have templates that allow me to create formats quickly for things that I often create. So here I have my to-do list template, and it formats the page to how I like to make my to-do list. So here I put the title to do for June 12. And I can just start inputting the tasks I have to do for June 12. So one of those is to edit video, post video. I also have to do my Anki card reviews. And Anki is my app of choice for doing flashcards. And I also have to study for my coming legal med exam. So I'll do legal med chance. And I'll also include exercise to remind me to do some physical activities so I'm not such a couch potato.
So for my third tip, this addresses the feeling of procrastination we have when we're trying to do something. So you know that feeling when like you have something due, but it's just really hard to get yourself started on it. So my tip for that is you just start doing it little by little. Meaning, say you have a chapter in a book that you have to read. Start by reading like just the first few lines of text on each page. And eventually, because you've built up that momentum, you're gonna end up reading or of the text, and the next thing you know, you've read every several pages of the chapter. So another example is like writing an essay. So the way I approach that is that I set a goal for myself of writing 100 words, and because of the momentum I've generated for myself writing those 100 words allows me to write more past the original 100 word goal. And although I don't end up finishing the entire essay in the one sitting, the technique has allowed me to start working on the assignment. I just need to apply it a few more times. The next thing I know, I've already finished assignment. So for my fourth tip, I recommend that you try using the Pomodoro method. So the Pomodoro method is a technique that makes you work for 25 minutes straight, then gives you a 5-minute rest. What this does is it primes your brain into focusing on the work that needs to be done for a specific amount of time, and then give your brain time to rest afterwards. And I find this technique is like really helpful when you're reviewing certain topics. So when I'm doing, for example, my flashcards, I would do 25 minutes of work and then 5 minutes of rest. So that way, I don't get burned out by doing like an hour straight of flashcards, but rather divide it into two 25-minute chunks with 5-minute rest in between. So to apply the Pomodoro technique, I recommend you use apps to do the timing, because there are dedicated apps that do the time the work and rest intervals and switch between them automatically. It just makes it easier for you to do several intervals. The app I personally use is ChinoyMD, which is a Pomodoro technique for macOS, which allows you to just click on the toolbar and start the timer. So for my fifth tip, and probably the most underrated tip of these 5, is knowing when to rest. Because some people are so fixated on productivity that they just end up getting burned out. So what I've done is that I incorporate long breaks in between long study sessions. So after a 4-hour study session, I would go on break for 1 to 2 hours to refresh my mind. And during this time, I'd focus on nothing academic. I'd watch YouTube videos, I'd go get a snack, I'd take a nap. And after that 1 to 2 hour break, I'd feel refreshed and more motivated to get back to work and stay productive. So that's all for today, guys. I hope you found something that useful to apply in your daily life to stay productive. And if you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. And I hope to see you guys in the next one.